Hello, today I'm going over the Properties of Water lecture. And it starts off by showing us a molecule of water here, H2O. So there's two hydrogens, right, H2O. There's two hydrogens and there's one oxygen. And then we see some positives and negatives. So let's get to this. Water molecules are polar, meaning they have a slightly negative end where the oxygen is up here, and slightly positive ends where the hydrogens are. Because of this, water molecules stick together through weak attractions called hydrogen bonds. So these hydrogen bonds are very important to water. We see them in other places, but they give water some special properties. These hydrogen bonds are also important in the structures of proteins and DNA. And looking at the next image, I see three water molecules, and then we have the highlighted hydrogen bonds that stick them together. And you'll notice that the negative end sticks to the positive end, right? Negative end here, positive end over there. So that's a weak bond. We can break that bond. Hydrogen bonds are weaker than covalent bonds, but are strong among water molecules, making water behave in special ways. They mentioned the covalent bonds are stronger here, which is important because that's what holds the water molecule together. You don't want that to be a weak bond. You want that to be strong. So holding the water molecule together is a stronger bond. Connecting one to another is weaker. These bonds require a lot of energy to break, which is why water stays a liquid at many temperatures on Earth. One important property caused by hydrogen bonds is high specific heat, meaning water resists changes in temperature and helps regulate heat in living things. So this is an example of cities near the coast that are on the ocean. Their temperatures do not change as much as cities that are inland because of the high specific heat of water. So the water off a coast like a city like San Francisco, the ocean water stays about the same temperature throughout the year. So summers in San Francisco are not very hot and winters are not very cold. All right, let's keep moving. So some more water molecules here and some different types of properties. Another property is cohesion, where water molecules stick to each other. So that's one water molecule sticking to another, cohesion. And we already said they do that through hydrogen bonds. Forming beads and creating surface tension. Surface tension helps small insects like spiders walk on water. Lastly, adhesion makes water molecules stick to other substances. In this case, the water molecule is sticking to glass here, helping water move up a plant root and curve in a test tube. So this is how water can move up plants and trees through adhesion, very slowly. So solutions, solvents, and solutes. We're going to talk about this in association with water because we find that solvents are oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes solvents are water. A solution is a mixture that is the same throughout and is made of a solvent and a solute. So this example has salt as the solute and water as the solvent. The solvent is the part present in the greater amount and dissolves the solute, which is the substance that gets dissolved. The concentration of a solution depends on how much solute is dissolved in a certain amount of solvent. You can make water more salty, like we have salt water here, by adding more salt, or less salty by removing salt. Okay. Some compounds form acids or bases when they dissolve in water, by breaking into ions. So this is a pH scale. You've probably seen this before about things that are acidic and basic or alkaline. And this has to do with things that are dissolved in the water. So let's keep going. Acids release hydrogen ions, H+, increasing H+ concentration, while bases remove H+ ions, decreasing the concentration. So what this means, the pH scale, what this means is over here, if it's acidic, it's got lots of these hydrogen ions, H+. If it's basic, it has much fewer of those. The pH scale, which ranges from 0 to 14, measures a solution's acidity. 0 over here is very acidic. 14 is very basic, and 7 is neutral, right in the middle. Okay, and the last thing here about blood. Now, our blood and the blood of many creatures, the pH can change. And we do not want this to happen. We want our pH to stay in a very narrow range. And so the way that we deal with this is there's a system of chemicals called buffers that can maintain that pH in a very narrow range. Most organisms need to maintain their pH close to neutral, though some thrive in very acidic environments. Buffers help regulate pH by either binding to excess hydrogen ions, those are the H+, or releasing them when needed, maintaining balance. In humans, blood pH must stay between 7.35 and 7.45, and even small changes outside of this range can be life-threatening. So the buffers, if it starts getting too high, it brings it back down. If it starts getting too low, it brings it back up, keeping it in that range. All right, I hope this helps. Thank you very much.